She turned my backyard into a wedding venue, so I let the dogs handle it. I was halfway through my first sip of coffee when I saw a woman in heels sprinting across my backyard, clutching a bouquet like she was being chased. A guy in suspenders was leaning on my vintage garden wheelbarrow, and a full-on photo crew had set up under my oak tree. It looked like a Pinterest wedding exploded on my property. At first, I thought I was hallucinating. Maybe a dream, maybe the coffee hadn't kicked in. But then I saw her, Miriam, clipboard in hand, headset like she was producing a Netflix special, just casually strolling through my backyard like she paid the mortgage. Spoiler, she didn't. "Oh, good, you're up," she chirped. "Don't worry, I told them you wouldn't mind. Your place is just so photogenic. We needed a scenic spot for pre-ceremony shots, and honestly, your garden gives off serious rustic elegance." That's when it hit me. Miriam, the queen bee of our HOA, had authorized a wedding photo shoot on my property. Without my permission. No heads up, no text, not even a passive-aggressive post-it note. I just blinked, stunned. She added, "Could you keep your dogs inside for just a little longer? They were barking earlier, and we don't want them stressing out the bride." I set my mug down. No, this wasn't a park. It wasn't a community garden. This was my home, my space, my dog's space. So I walked to the gate, gave a low whistle, and let my 2 dogs out. The bride shrieked. A groomsman tripped over his own feet. The photographer dropped a lens in my koi pond. And Miriam? She just froze. "You're going to regret this," she hissed, gathering her shattered dignity and her mud-splattered wedding party. "I already regret not putting up an electric fence," I replied. But Miriam wasn't done. The next day, a letter showed up taped to my door. On official HOA letterhead. It accused my uncontrolled animals of causing emotional trauma to neighborhood guests, and informed me I was under temporary pet conduct review. Classic Miriam. She even weaponized the community newsletter, sliding in subtle jabs about ensuring shared spaces remain safe and welcoming. Never mind that my yard isn't a shared space. It's behind a locked gate. So I did what I should have done earlier. I pulled up my security footage. Every click of the camera caught something. Strangers hopping the fence, a tripod knocking over my potted roses, Miriam directing the chaos like she owned the place. I edited it all into a neat 5-minute clip, then saved it to a flash drive. At the next HOA meeting, Miriam strutted to the podium and painted herself as the victim. According to her, my dogs were violent, I was volatile, and the community deserved better decorum. Then it was my turn. No narration, just video. Raw, awkward, undeniable truth. The room went silent. A few neighbors even raised their hands to say they too had been Miriamed. Backyard wine tastings without permission. Birthday tents blocking driveways. One woman said Miriam moved her flower pots because they clashed with the HOA palette. By the time the meeting ended, Miriam had been removed as HOA president. Unanimous vote. Not a single hand raised in her favor. But here's the thing about people like Miriam. They don't go away quietly. Just days later, she was back at it, this time leading another wedding party to the edge of my property. Not technically on my lawn, but pointing cameras through my fence, using my private space as her backdrop, smirking like she found a loophole. "You can't own the view," she said smugly. So I walked inside, opened the gate, and let the dogs roam. They didn't bite anyone. They didn't attack, but they barked and played and peed on the rose bush that just happened to be in frame. That wedding party? Gone in under 3 minutes. Controversial opinion? Maybe I was petty. Maybe I should have talked it out, let it slide, been the bigger person. But let me ask you, when someone repeatedly uses your space without permission, manipulates the rules, and then paints you as the villain, what's the line between being neighborly and being walked on? Some people say, dogs shouldn't be used to scare guests. I say, don't bring guests into someone else's yard without asking. What do you think? Was I out of line? Should I have handled it differently? Or was Miriam the one who crossed the line, again and again? Let's talk about boundaries, entitlement, and when being a good neighbor becomes a one-sided game. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is it ever okay to mess with someone like this? Where do you draw the line? And have you ever had a Miriam in your life?